All right, hopefully that is better. Let's try this one more time. I don't know what else to do if that's not working. Let's see if we can get any better volume. I'm gonna have to wait till a couple people come in and they can let me know if this volume is sufficient, right? Is the volume sufficient? So let's find out. Let me see if I can crank this microphone up a little bit more. See if that helps. Do we have volume now, guys? Do we have volume or is it a problem? And I don't know till people tell me. Apparently it was a volume issue. The last couple have adjusted everything. We should be in a good place. We should be in a good place. We'll find out here in a moment, right? I can't hear anything. Liberty, you can hear it. Are we good now? You hear me, but is it louder than it was? It shouldn't be that hard to type an answer, dude. Come on. Because everything should be good. I've adjusted everything. It says it's reading this mic. The mic is turned up, right? It's loud. Okay, we're good. All right, good. All right, let's hop over into that topic, flexible dieting, and then we'll get over to your questions. The whole if it fits your macros thing, guys, look, it's a nonsense cult dedicated to eating junk food. It's essentially people trying to play a middle ground of taking a sick society that has an unhealthy relationship with their food that has been taught through social programming to eat garbage. It's not food, refined sugars, refined fats, right? All this crap, stuff that no reasonable person, if they were being objective and they weren't culturally programmed to eat these things for several generations, that a reasonable person would look at that and go, dude, that's garbage. I'm not putting that in my mouth and swallowing it. Okay? Because we know what effects it has. And just because they get lean doesn't mean that it's healthy. Yes, we can make the case that obesity itself is an enormous driver of all these health problems, including obesity. Well, obesity, a driver of obesity. Wow. All right, Jason, that was real smooth. All right. A driver of inflammation, cardiovascular disease, cancer, diabetes, right? We know that's a factor. But the food choices matter too. And on top of it, they can claim, well, as long as we track calories, but everyone is obese because of these foods. I mean, realistically speaking, does anyone really think we would have an obesity problem if those foods were gone? If all these hyper palatable, calorie dense junk like refined sugars, table sugar, high fructose corn syrup, vegetable oils, right? Even butter, all these things, if they were not available, does anyone think we would have an obesity problem? If these foods disappeared right now off the face of the earth, would a single fat person in America stay at the same body weight, or would they start losing weight immediately? If these foods disappeared, would every single fat person in America weigh less next month than they do right now? All of them. Every last one of them. I'm going to go with yes. Every last one of them would lose weight. If there's an exception, it would be 1 in a million. So really, what's the problem? And I'm not saying we don't have other things psychologically and everything to deal with, but that's all been reinforced with the social programming. It's been reinforced with the social programming. I mean, case in point, take someone like me. I am psychologically hardwired for obesity due to my trauma, my upbringing, and my genetics. I have been over 300 pounds, yet, I cut all that out and I diet and exercise. I am literally an individual who is the worst predisposed, okay? Ethnically, family-wise, genetically, childhood upbringing, childhood trauma. I am the poster boy to be on my 500-pound life. Yet, kind of see the point here? If I don't eat these, so I live my life as if these foods don't exist. I don't eat them at all. See the issue? What do you mean, Liberty? What do you mean portion sizes? It has nothing to do with portion. The average American's too broke to go out and eat all the time. So the portions are not the problem. Okay. Liberty, you think in the lockdowns and in the current economy, the average fat person who got fatter can afford to go out and eat every day? You really think the portion sizes are the factor? Or do you think the fact that they go to the store and buy junk food, that they portion themselves? So let's drop this portion size. The portion size is not the problem. I can assure you the average overweight American can't afford to go out and eat and buy these portions. It's not within their budget in this last economy, but they all gained weight. Right? But it is the refined foods. And I want to point this out, let's come back over to the point. You pick what you eat in your portions, bros. So if these foods didn't exist, they would all lose weight. And I do mean that. Right? If these foods all disappear, if every refined sugar and every refined fat on the face of the earth disappeared magically right now, every single fat person in America would lose weight over the next month. All of them, every last one of them. No matter how much they tried to maintain it, they would lose it. They wouldn't be able to keep the weight on. It would be biologically impossible. So therefore, these foods really are the problem. All right. Lester says, you never had the urge at McDonald's. I've never had the urge to have McDonald's at any point in my adult life. Benji says, what is it, if it fits your macros? It's the whole flexible diet thing. Everyone talking about, I count my macros. Everything in moderation. Matt says, you look effing awesome, coach. Long, hard journey, but you've come through it. And we're still improving, Matt. I'm going to keep getting better. You see how I'm looking again this week. Right? You see it on camera. You've seen pictures. You've seen the vlog. It's up. I'm going to get all the reels and shorts up here shortly. They're already made. Right? We're going to keep rolling, guys. We're going to keep it flowing. I've still got a long way to go. Jason, there's a huge culture around junket fast food in America too. Yeah, absolutely. And we as a society have to do something about that, don't we? Matt says, I haven't had junk food regular in years. On the very rare occasion I eat it, but it tastes like. Yeah, I mean, I like a cheap meal every now and then. Right? So, Sam, is there a rep range that stops actually improving someone back? I've heard them once. I mean, in theory, Sam, anything that doesn't cause you to gain muscle, but any improvement in myofibrillar growth will potentially improve your long-term max. Okay, so there's your benchmark. Size raises your strength ceiling. This has been displayed over and over and over, both in the lab and in the elite strength circles in the best gyms in the world. Okay. Hey, Jason, do you think the recent right major surge has to do with people being too lazy to work out consistently, hitting a muscle? Possibly, because again, a lot of the people who follow the Minzer thing, they don't train hard enough to follow the Minzer thing. Like you watch them train and it's like, I mean, if you're going to do Minzer's hit, let's see some intensity. A lot of them don't. And if they're doing it truly correctly and they believe in it, I think that's it. But I think a lot of it is the laziness. I mean, the same thing with the people who follow Kinobody stuff. And it's good marketing. Like Kinobody is really good at marketing. Okay. He markets to lazy people who want everything for nothing. You know, and that's a sizable chunk of the population. Hey man, 30 minutes 3 times a week, we can skip legs. And, you know, I don't think he fully trained the way that he promoted. You know, keep that in mind. Because I never saw his clients get results. I had several of his people come over to me and get results. You know, just throwing that out there. There's limits to some of that. And I'm not saying low volume, low frequency can't work. It can, but you have to train really, really, really hard. Okay, you have to train really hard to make it work. And a lot of these guys who I see trying to do it are not training hard enough to get away with it. For the rest time, still 2-3 minutes for today's chest, dude. I don't even know. I just ground through it. It was grueling. They could have been. I don't know. It took me over an hour and a half to do all 30 sets. So I haven't even done the math on that. A lot of it though, I had to change dumbbells around because I did all those dumbbell presses and stuff. I'm still cramping from some of it a little bit. It was a lot. All right, my triceps are cramping up a little right now. I just made my chest. I'm gonna need till tomorrow to recover. But in this case, guys, I'm doing this to get to the next tier. Right, it's not about doing what's comfortable anymore. I'm trying to really take my physique up another notch to, get better outreach, better marketing. It's business for me at this point. I don't even care. I don't even care about looking better personally anymore. At this point, it's purely business. That's it. It's professional. And yeah, it's going to hurt. Yeah, I'm going to cramp. Yes, it's going to be hard, but hard work pays off, Skills to pay the bills. And I have no personal ego in it at this point. Like I could be content, perfectly content looking how I look, be perfectly happy right now on a personal level. Is getting over the calciumurity going to be problematic if it's from food? I don't think you should need to supplement it, dude. You get it from your food. Also, with the high volume, you're officially J color. My volumes are definitely up, but it's all just the small work. Like my big lifts, I'm keeping those moderated, right? We don't do we do heavy, low volume on the really big lifts, and then we just pump the crap out of everything with all the smaller movements, the dumbbells, the isolation machines. Jason, how much sleep do you usually get? I try to get 8 hours, maybe 9 some nights. It's hard for me to go over 8. I used to try to get 9 or 10. Lately, I'm struggling to get more than 8, so I just live with that. Right. Before anyone chimes in that says Tren, I don't use Tren. I've been very open about what I do or don't use. I'm actually not even a fan of Tren. It's too harsh. It's not worth it. And it's so much fake muscle. The gain fade on it so quick as soon as it leaves your system because it's all that intramuscular water. It's fake. The older I get, the less sleep my body can take, 6 to 7. That's interesting. How old are you, Liberty? I think you've mentioned before you're in your 50s, I think. All right, 53. Yeah, I've heard that from some other guys. So maybe that's also what's happening. I was able to get 10 at one time, but these days, getting more than 8 has been really difficult lately. I even do the whole rain sounds, the black screen, melatonin. Let's say I do, Lester says, let's say I do one upper day with bench and back, and a lower day with squats and leg extensions, and then a third day deadlifts and more back exercises. I guess it's probably fine. I mean, I don't think it's unreasonable. I don't think it's unreasonable, Lester. I mean, do you enjoy it? Are you able to progress on it? Are you progressing and are you recovering? Then I would say probably okay. Man, how do you like an answer like that? Are you progressing and are you recovering? Then it's probably all right. But you see, your split isn't always the answer. Guys worry about the wrong things. Do blue light filter glasses actually help with sleep? I don't know. I know people who believe them. Melatonin turns my dreams into David Lynch movies. Dude, melatonin dreams are next level, right? You guys already know. I have fought so many hordes of Terminator zombies with laser axe hands and all sorts of crazy stuff in melatonin dreams. And you almost never have sex. It's like you don't have sex dreams on it. You'd be like, man, can I have these awesome, vivid sex dreams? And it almost never happens. There's always some intense stuff happening in an airport and stuff, you know. You still program speed work? I only program speed work for athletes who need it, right? Now, if clients slow off the chest, we build their bench and their incline, their pause bench, we build their pecs, and we build their incline up. That will fix it, right? Won't that fix it? Look at all them veins. Look at those veins, guys. Arms are all hard and vascular like a cock. Cock iron Blaha over here. That's going to go in a soundbite somewhere. Somebody going to have something to say about that. Oh my God. Oh my God. We knew he was gay. Do you still program speed work? Yeah. Jeez. Oh man. But yes, melatonin, by the way, is still a fitness topic because it's a supplement we take for fitness and health purposes. So anybody who keeps trying to disrupt the stream with trollism, you can beat them and throw hands. Benji, dude, you don't need to say that. They're not going to do it. They're never going to do it. George says, Jason, I started the Novice 2.0 program about 1.5 months ago, age 45. I do not think I can progress linear for a long time. Some lifts, like the overpress, start being too tough. No one progresses linear for long. That's why you have weight resets, George. You reset the weight and then go back up. It's pretty straightforward. Hypothetically, how strong do you think someone will get only body weight? Not very strong. I mean, Sam, here's the question. Like, why would you do that? So I'm going to give you my standard answer. Hypothetically, why don't we all train really, really, really smart and intelligently and correctly? I'm just going to throw that out as a hypothetical scenario. What if we all said, hey, I'm going to train optimally and correctly? Man, that would be the most amazing hypothetical ever in terms of hypothetical training questions. I think that is the ultimate hypothetical that we need to discuss. What would happen hypothetically if we all just decided to train correctly and not put weird, strange, bizarre limitations into what we do? So hypothetically, what would happen? We'd all get really good gains, wouldn't we? How awesome would that be? I think that's the best hypothetical scenario. So let me ask you a question then, Sam. Why do you feel the need to try to put limitations in place? Is it deep down, right? Is it deep down, Sam, because you don't believe that you're worthy of getting results? And I think that's a question we need to ask ourselves when we come up with these sort of ideas. You know, when guys do these sort of things and they have this stuff. Do you feel for some reason that you're not worthy of getting gains? And so therefore you try to think up ways to sabotage yourself? Because people who come up with those sort of scenarios, that's been my experience. They tend to do that, and they tend to jump around to different restrictions. Well, no, but no. I mean, I'm going to take it another direction. Let's take it in that interesting way. Why do people do? Let's say it's not even you. Let's say people in general who come up with these ideas of. See, I'm about to segue it into the real topic. Who come up with stuff like, I choose to do only calisthenic training. Do you think it's because that person doesn't believe they deserve gains, so they come up with weird limitations to make sure that they get less progress? Is it a form of self-sabotage? I think that it is, because the whole mindset is rooted in limitations, right? Just food for thought. I heard taking melatonin every day is bad. It doesn't seem to be that case, Bruce. It's not been my observation, and not based on the data I've seen. Thoughts on the Spoto press as an accessory? The Spoto press became useless as soon as Eric Spoto became the number 2 bencher in the world. I said that back at the time, by the way. It was all the rage because the best bencher in the world did it. And then obviously when someone else who didn't do it beat his record, they proved that the Spoto press wasn't the best accessory. Because now it was the favorite accessory at number 2 in the world. So therefore something else was clearly better, right? It's just another accessory. I never program it. I don't think it's necessarily a bad one, but what's the point? Like with any other, and it's not an accessory, it's an assistance exercise. It is an assistance, it's not an accessory. The question you have to always ask with an assistance movement, does it address my weak link in the movement? If an assistance exercise addresses your personal sticking point or weak link, it's good. If it doesn't address your personal weakness, it's really bad. How's that for an answer to any assistance exercise? Does it address your personal weak link? That will tell you, is it a good or a bad exercise? Tell you if it's good or not. And I think that's a very solid general rule, right? It's a very solid general rule to follow. I listen to music when training, Bruce. I listen to training. I listen to music when training. I can't talk, guys. I'm just going to give up on talking. There's a point where I'm distracted because I have client messages literally popping up in the middle of my screen. And I'm reading. So because of the way my messenger set up, all my clients can come through full time. Their questions are literally popping up for some reason it pops up right where I'm reading y'all stuff. And so I'm reading their stuff come through at the same time. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. You did 16 sets. I did 12. I did 12, actually, not 16. I did 16 total sets of quads. But 12 of them were leg extensions. No, I didn't really have DOMs. Not like I'm getting today, though, man. The chest and triceps there. All right. All right. So. All right. Not bad. No, I didn't have DOMs from it, really. I'm probably going to have DOMs in my chest tomorrow. 10 sets of belt squats for me. Yeah, that'll do it, dude. That'll do it. That's why I'm sticking to the isolation, Benji. A lot of that really high volume is isolation exercises. I'm just coming in and hypertrophying and pumping the hell out of those different smaller, those muscles, all smaller movements, because we recover from that easier, right? Get really strong at the big movements and pump the hell out of everything with small movements. It's a viable strategy. Right? It gives you veins like this. And that's what's causing the veins, guys. 10 sets of belt squats. 10 sets, you probably lost count of some of them reps. Get that compact lead sled. Okay. Yeah, because it's a ton. Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of work. He's going to lose count probably. Does doing heavier dumbbell curls have any benefits? Yeah, dude, it can help you get that nice split in your bicep when you tear it. Right? Benji, they're not going to message you, dude. They're not going to meet up with you. They're cowards. All right. But we don't need to go there. I'm just going to drop that. We don't need to talk about all that. Could you completely swap convention for sumo? No. They're different, completely different exercises. I'm rather tall in conventional form is so hard to find. What does being tall have to do with it? KTZ, more tall guys struggle with sumo than struggle with conventional. How tall is the strongest conventional puller ever in recorded history? 6'9". Okay, KTZ. So if the strongest conventional deadlift ever done on camera in recorded history ever was done by a 6'9" guy, you might have seen him in Game of Thrones, the mountain, that guy, right? So if 6'9", which I think is pretty tall, he's rather tall, right? Has the strongest conventional deadlift in recorded history. How is your height actually an excuse here? That's a bit of a conundrum, isn't it? I throw that one out there a lot with some of these really elite conventional pullers who are over 6 foot, who do 900, 950, I mean, I've watched a 6'4" guy pull 850 at a meet a couple of years ago. So, and that was raw. Just saying. King Bruce, I would probably consider higher. Why not go 10 plus? Why are you even going to go low with it? Just as a dumbbell curl. It's the most important tool for blasting through plateaus, gaining muscle. Patience. Patience is the most important tool. The single most important tool for getting through a plateau is patience. KTZ says that. Really? Who told you that? Let me ask you the other question, KTZ. Why are you trying to conventional deadlift with a straight back? Who told you that that's the correct way to do it? I would like to have a word with this clown. I would like to have a personal word with whichever trash dumpster coach told you to do that. They need to find a different profession. Because a lifting coach and a powerlifting coach and a deadlift coach, they're definitely at a kindergarten level. They're not even at a middle school or a high school level, let alone an adult level. They should not be giving advice. Right? So the problem you're having is you can't get the leverages because of your height, because you're using the incorrect form, which means you're trying to maintain a straight back. That's the problem, because someone gave you some really bad advice. I'll ask you another question. Have you ever seen anyone deadlift 700 plus with a straight back? No, George, I will never bring back the Breakfast with Blaha series. I have no intention. Well, let me rephrase that. I don't like to say never. I have no desire or plans to ever do so. How's that? Would be fair. That would be an honest answer. given a choice, unless I saw an enormous financial benefit, like I could make $1 million doing it, I would rather not do it. So, I would be uncomfortable doing it, even though I'd make $1 million, but I'd take the $1 million. KTZ, my natural form. Yeah. What do you mean your natural form? You mean everybody's? You mean the form of every person on earth who deadlifts 700 plus pounds? All of them? Every single last one of them? You mean the people who deadlift 700 to 1,000 pounds know the correct way to pull? Is that what we're saying? Most of the time they do, yeah. Usually, I mean, a few exceptions. Watch where you get your advice, brother. Be very careful. All right. I've seen 500, George. Now, the guys who do it 500 with a perfectly straight back can usually pull 650, 700 if they do it correctly, though, can't they? I've seen it done, though, before. I've seen 500. We're not talking a guy who weighs 190 pounds. All right. All right, guys, I'm getting a ton of client questions coming through. I need to answer those before it gets any later. So we need to wind this down. So I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.